I'm going to be sharing 10 ways to rewire your money story. Now, I shared a post 2 days ago, which is I think Friday 23rd, about why I'm passionate about wealth mindset a few days ago. And I shared my journey to wealth and prosperity, and it's been an interesting journey. So I think you should check out that post and learn the story. Thank you for your support. I can see your messages. Yeah. Okay, cool. I will try to have a Q&A at the end if there's still time. I hope I won't stay here long. I don't plan to stay here more than 30 minutes because, I'm just coming back to this live session thing. So let's talk about 10 ways to rewrite your money story. Now, I thought to share this. I've done a video about this on my YouTube channel a few months ago, and it resonated with a lot of people. A lot of us have stories in our minds about different aspects of our lives, and those stories impact our choices and our decisions in those areas of our lives, okay? And this thing goes beyond just money, your relationships, in your work, your career, your business, your decision. A lot of your choices and your decisions are formed by the stories in your brain. And these stories are like a well-programmed software, okay? It does what it's supposed to do. And so you're operating in this world as a normal person. But the truth is that if the stories that are playing in your brain that are actually subconsciously influencing your decisions, okay? And money is an area that is very important for a lot of people because we live in a material world, right? We live in a practical world, and, even the Bible says money answers all things. So basically, money gives you opportunities, pays your bills, gives you experiences. And that's why money is so important, okay, to all of us. However, we will not reach the fullness of our potential financially if we don't rewrite our money story and address the issues or the traumas or the things that have held us back from getting to the full level of who we are supposed to be financially, right? And that's why I want to share a few things. Interestingly, before I came on this live, I did a research because I noticed something. I noticed that people tend to focus, even me, I'm guilty of that, on the negative experiences and not the positive experiences that we've had in life. And so I did a research on with an AI tool. I use DeepSeek, right? And I said, why is it that we tend to focus more on our negative than on the positive, right? And I found out that it is because of evolutionary biology, because our ancestors had to fight to survive. So they were always in survival mode, where they were always trying to protect themselves from the next enemy. All right? And that is why survival is the instinct. And that's why people are most likely tend to focus on what has happened that was negative in their lives, which includes their money story or their money history. So people tend to forget all the amazing things that happen in their lives, all the ways they've been provided and supported, occasionally financially. And they're focused on maybe they have a challenge right now, a lack right now, a need right now, trying to feel, and they forget that they actually have been provided for and supported in the past. That's why the first way to rewrite your money story is to review your life, and see the areas where you have been financially provided and supported. Now, let me give you just a simple one. Imagine when you were a baby. You didn't even know how you were surviving, but you survived. You were provided for, you were supported. Now you say, okay, but I'm an adult, and adulthood is scam, or adulting is, a bit of a task. Yes, now you're an adult, and you are supposed to be responsible for taking care of yourself, but at the same time, you actually are still supported. Because you are in this world, you have forces, okay? And if you're a Christian, God is actually providing and supplying all your needs. So the first way to rewrite your money story, I want you to go back to your past and deliberately remind yourself of the times when you were supported financially and you were provided for. I learned that it actually takes at least 12 seconds of being conscious to retain a positive memory and less than 5 seconds to retain a negative memory. And that's why people have more negative memories, even though if they did a proper review of their lives, they'll be surprised that they actually have more positive experience than negative. Okay? It's just because the brain is just wired to keep looking for negativity, and we're trained to do that. You see all the warnings you get on your social media groups, they're warning you about negativity because they're trying to protect you so that you will survive, and that's why people are more attuned to negativity. But the first thing you need to do consciously is review your life, okay, and see all the areas you've been financially supported and provided for. Okay, that's the first way to rewire your story, because when you begin to do that, you'll be surprised, pleasantly surprised at how you have actually been well provided for, taken care of. Maybe the memory you remember is when you lost money that time, when somebody cheated you, or blah, blah, blah. But I want you to look at it holistically, and you'll be pleasantly surprised by how you've been supported. And when I've done this exercise, I won't lie to you, I've been so blessed to say, wow, I'm really well supported and taken care of, no matter what the challenges financially are right now. The second thing you want to do to rewire your money story is you want to thoroughly evaluate the money beliefs you grew up with and question those beliefs, okay? Are those beliefs truth, or they are just your experience? So for example, how do you see money? One of the things that I grew up with in my middle class family is my parents, fantastic parents, okay? We didn't lack the basic stuff. but we didn't have extras. We just had the basic, right? And one of the things that he always used to do is to say, people that had a lot of money were either doing something corrupt, right? And so it was ingrained in my mind and minds of my siblings that for you to have a lot of money, you must be doing something corrupt. And then when you're trained in good morals and values, that's against your morals and values. So you almost think subconsciously, you never say to yourself that I cannot be very wealthy or rich if I don't want to do anything corrupt. Okay? But that is not true. I'm not saying that it's not a fact that some people do corrupt things, get money. I am saying that that's not an absolute truth. Okay? That you can actually be rich and righteous. And we do have a few examples of those people in the world who through capacity, their competence, their innovation, favor, whatever you call it, are rich and competent. So we have to avoid the danger of what they call a minor story. So there's actually something called the danger of a minor story. So what does that mean? It means that you conclude and generalize on a story that this happens to everybody, but it's only a few people that are having an experience. So like saying everybody who is rich is corrupt, But how many people do you know who are rich that are corrupt? You just took a small segment of people and you generalized it and you made that, your life's value, your life's philosophy, but that's not true. So I want you to examine your beliefs about money growing up, all right? If you grew up in an environment where money was really scarce, you might have anxiety about money, all right? Or if you grew up in an environment where there were highs and lows, highs and lows, highs and lows, you have anxiety about money. If you grew up in an environment where you were well taken care of, but all of a sudden you're responsible for yourself, it can also cause anxiety. So there are just multiple things that trigger money. Like, for example, for me, until an event in my life when I met a particular person, I never thought about money. I lived with the trust that, my needs are supported, I'm content, I'm okay. But when I met somebody who had grown up in a poor environment and was so driven and motivated by money, it started giving me anxiety. I started to feel like I was not enough, if I was not producing financially. So you have to evaluate what those beliefs are, okay? And those beliefs might translate to you having either a scarcity mindset or abundance mindset, okay? And sometimes you don't know that you have a scarcity mindset until certain events trigger you. Okay? And those events trigger you to wonder, oh my God. For example, you want to make a decision. Something happened to me yesterday, and that's true that we're all work in progress. Yesterday, I needed to make a decision to invest in some things, okay? And those things are like expenses, which I might not see the returns immediately. And I won't lie to you, there was a stretch in my heart. I'm like, why do I want to spend this money? Why don't we manage? And then because I've been doing a lot of work, rewriting my money story and rewiring my brain, I have to tell myself, no. Make an objective decision. I could calm myself down and I could talk to myself objectively to say, which of these things do you need to do? Because they will help you go to your next level, will help you improve your life. And I had to itemize them and not let the fear of scarcity stop me from doing what I needed to do, okay? Or fear of not having enough money when I needed it. So that's the second thing. Evaluate your money beliefs, okay? The third thing is I want you to identify areas where you think of money from a negative perspective. Okay? I want you to identify what are the things that you think about money from a negative perspective, right? Like for me, one of the things that I noticed is that I had something called an upper limit problem. What's an upper limit problem? An upper limit problem is when you get to a certain level of making money and you can't get beyond that level, right? You keep making the same amount you make and it doesn't get higher than that, no matter what you do, no matter how many efforts. It's called an upper limit problem. And sometimes when you want to stretch beyond that level, your mind is putting you under pressure. Everything is telling you, no, don't do it. Your brain is trying to protect you, okay? Because you never gone beyond that limit. Okay, so I want you to identify those areas. And where did that come from? It came from, like I said, my childhood, where my parents used to tell me that people that make a lot of money are corrupt. And so when I started to want to make a lot of money, I started getting very scared. So I want you to identify where those negative perspectives came from. And I want you to reframe it. Reframe those thoughts, reframe those events that caused you to have those thoughts. Like for me, one of the ways I reframed that is I told myself I actually can be rich and righteous. Because money is an exchange for value. Okay? It's just an exchange for value. So I can actually be rich and righteous. Why not? Okay? And so you have to identify and reframe those thoughts that held you back. That is not letting you maximize your potential in your wealth and prosperity. You have to rewrite that story. So that's number 3. Number 4. I want you to see money as what it really is. This is one area, actually for men, that they struggle. Money is really just a tool. It's not our identity. Right? Recently I had one experience and it made me weigh myself. And the truth of the matter is I always say the devil has no new tricks. It's the same thing over and over again until you overcome the trick. So one experience I had was, I have a family member who values money a lot, so having a lot of money. And so this family member sort of judges you based on how much money you have. Okay? And so I used to feel, oh my God, I used to ignore my success holistically and focus and measure my success based on only one factor, how much money I had. So I subconsciously made money my identity. But money is not your identity. Money is just a tool. It's a tool, yes, it's a good tool to have. It helps us live a good life, enjoy our lives, have fun, money is good, right? have experiences, have exposure. You know what I mean? But the truth of it is just a tool. That's why, and to prove this, that's why you see rich people who are unhappy. If money was your identity, why do billionaires get depressed? Right? They don't get depressed now. They don't be eating their money, enjoying their life. But no, because money is just a tool, right? It can buy you nice experiences, it can buy you nice things, it can buy you comfort. But that's what it is, just a tool. And so your identity, your identity shouldn't be tied by how much you have. Right? You by yourself are enough. So that's the fourth thing you need to do. You need to rewrite how you see money. Give money its rightful place. I'm not saying it's not important, but I'm saying that before you know it, you're actually beginning to worship mammon because you made it your identity. And I'm saying this from experience. I'm not even saying it's feeling like, I'm just special. No, it affected me too. Until I had to put money in its rightful place. I say, you know what? Talent on your own, you're enough. On your own, you're amazing. Okay, you've accomplished so many successes in most areas of your life, all right? And money is a tool that helps you to continue to make impact, right? That's it. So rewrite how you see money. It is just a tool. It's not your identity. It will be challenging, especially when you're going through, you have financial needs, you have things to do, you want to prove that you're successful. But the truth of the matter is that you need to put money in the place it needs to be. Okay, number 5. I want you to write down all the ways you want money to support you. Because it's a tool. What do we do with tools? We use it to make ourselves more efficient, more effective, to ease the burden or things like that. So I want you to now write down, what are all the ways you want money to support you? It is a tool. So, for example, you want to be able to take better care of yourself, you want to travel, you want to live in a better house, you want to get to your loved ones, you want to buy a house, you want to buy a car, all the ways that you want money to support you. I want you to write it down, okay? And you know what? This exercise is so beautiful. It is beautiful because it helps you remove your focus from the anxiety about money and focus on the possibilities of what having the tool of money can do for you, right? It's a very, very beautiful exercise. One of the things I do to take it even a step further is not only do I write down all the ways I want money to support me, I actually also find pictures of the things I'll be doing to enjoy the money, And the beautiful thing about AI right now is you can actually describe what you want to picture, and AI can generate an image of it, and it is amazing. Like, that's taking vision money to the next level. So I write down, this is how I want money to support me, and that's what I want you to do this exercise. So if you're listening, hope you're taking notes, or you can come back and watch the replay so that you can actually do the exercises and rewrite your money story. Okay? It puts you in such a place of excitement, abundance, and you have the right energy around you to actually begin to receive money. Okay? So that's number 5. Number 6. I'll try to take questions, and anybody has questions, please. I'm not reading the comments right now because I want to focus, and I probably have to wear my glasses to really see very well. Yeah, but let me just finish. Number 6. I want you to acknowledge all the skills and talents you have that you can use to add value to the world. Okay? And examine how you can use it better. It's just that simple. So, what are the things that you are great at? What are the things you know that can add value to the world? Okay, and you know why this is very important? It's really important is that because when you are so focused on making money, it kind of polarizes you. You don't see all the things that you are able to get, especially if you are in a desperate or scarcity space. You forget your worth, you forget your value, you forget what you can bring to the world to serve the world. Okay, so that's why you have to deliberately acknowledge all your skills. What are your skills? What are your talents? What can you do that can bring value to the world? The other day I did this exercise, I was reflecting on myself, and I'm like, God, Tala, you are so talented. Let me brag and boast myself. Yeah, because you need to do it for yourself. I said, you are so talented. See the amount of things that you can do that people have to pay to do. Like, there's so many things I can do. Like, I have so many gifts and skills that people have to pay for. Okay? So you need to actually acknowledge them. And then when you acknowledge everything you can do, so if you can take a piece of paper, or you write on your system, or whatever, your phone, your notepad, or whatever, your iPad, laptop, whatever, write them down. And then the question you want to ask yourself is, how can I use this better? As I'm talking about it, there's a scripture that comes to my mind. It's a woman with the jar of oil, right? When the prophet went to the woman, he says, what is it that you have in your hand? The woman said, I have nothing but. So a lot of us are treating our skills and talents as nothing but. I have nothing but. But the truth of the matter is that you do have something, and you need to acknowledge it and find, how can I use this better? How can I use the skill? How can I use this talent better to add value, which would in turn turn to more money? Especially if you know how to position it right, have the right strategy, have the right, ways to expose it to the right people to produce more money. Okay, so that's number 6. Number 7, I want you to do the inner work to know that you are worthy of having money. Yes, you are worthy. You are worthy of having money, whether you're alive or working in play. Okay? And you're worthy of enjoying the abundance available in the world. Because the truth is that there's abundance in this world. Don't let anybody tell you anything. One of the ways that I reframe and reprogram my mind to see abundance is I go on money walks and I look at the clouds. The clouds are endless. Like, I never looked at the clouds. Where does it start? Where does it end? Like, you don't see the starting, but you don't see the ending. But that always Every time I look at the clouds, I see the abundance available in this world, right? When you are so focused on lack, you don't miss the abundance. And so that's why you need to do the inner work. You need to tell yourself, I'm worthy of having abundance. I'm worthy of having a lot of money. I'm worthy of enjoying what money can bring. Remember, it's a tool, right? Okay? Because, you know why that's so important? Why it's so important? Because once you believe something, you will look for the evidence. Okay? Let me say it again. Once you believe something, you will look for the evidence. Once you believe in abundance, you will look for the evidence of abundance. Right? Once you believe that you're skilled and talented, you will look for the evidence of it. So what is stopping a lot of people is really not an absence of skill and talent. It is the fact that they have not come to the awareness of it. And that's why the inner work is important. Okay? Because once you believe something, you look for the evidence. Okay? I want you to let that settle in because it's a very important thing to you. Okay? Then number 8. Be grateful for what you already have and celebrate milestones. You know? There's a nice scripture I like. He that has, much will be given. So the truth of the matter is that a lot of people are walking around life thinking, I don't have. Because, like I said at the beginning, if you're not here at the beginning, watch the replay, that because of evolutionary biology, we're programmed to think negatively. So people ignore all the amazing things they have, and they focus on what they don't have. Alright? So that's why one of the ways to help you be constantly attuned to what you have is gratitude. And I want you to be grateful and to celebrate every milestone. Like I came live today, which I'm going to be doing as often as possible. I have another live session next week with one of my dear friends who I saw on this call. I don't know if she's still here. Okay? I am so grateful. I'm going to celebrate this milestone. Talking about it. I'm coming. Let me do a screenshot of it. Okay, fantastic. But that is me celebrating the milestones. And I want you to do that. I want you to acknowledge all the amazing progress you've made. Even if the progress you've made so far is, I joined this live session. I learned about how to rewrite my money story. One step forward. Because you joined this live session because you want to make progress. You want to write your money story. And that's why you did it. Celebrate it. Even if after this call, the next thing you do is you do the assignments. You identify your skills and your talents. And you acknowledge how you can use it better. Celebrate that milestone. Because all of a sudden you open up yourself to possibilities of how you can make money. Okay? So that is very important. Gratitude and celebrate your milestones. Number 9. Now, this is a very important and very tricky thing. It is about calming your nervous system and emotions. When you're under stress, your brain releases something called cortisol. Cortisol is the hormone or the chemical that your brain releases when you're when you're scared, you're frightened, things are negative and things like that. And then your nervous system goes into panic mode, goes into fight or flight mode, okay? And before you know it, instead of seeing all the possibilities ahead of you, you begin to see the negative. Now, for women, this is one thing that we women have to really work on. Why? Because we have cycles, right? For women that are still cycling. And at various points in your cycle, your body releases certain hormones. And those hormones can actually make you either feel very excited and positive or make you feel negative. So you need to notice the negative things that are not working well for you. And so you need to be able to calm your nervous system and emotions. If you can regulate your nervous system and emotions, you're going to solve 50% of your problems. Why do I say so? Because you're not going to be so moved by external circumstances. Right? You're not going to be so moved by negativity. You're going to be able to have a calm assessment of the situation and make better decisions. Now, this is work in progress, okay? As I'm talking to you, I'm not going to lie that I always am on a high, I'm always feeling positive. But because I understand these principles and I walk it, because I live what I teach or I preach, or I do this work and I've been doing this work for years, right? When those negative thoughts start to come up, when my mind wants to exaggerate the circumstances, I have learned to calm myself down. Okay, and I've learned to say, okay, is this an emotional thing based on my cycle, or is there something that's making me feel or think this way, and how can I fix it? Right? So it is an amazing skill. If you can calm your nervous system and regulate your emotions, you're going to make more money. It is a game changer. You're going to make more money. Right? So what I want you to do to rewrite your money story in this point is write all your emotional triggers. Everybody has it. This is not a gender thing now. Write all your emotional triggers. What do people say to you that triggers you? That makes you feel like, hey, those things that trigger you, write them down. And I want you to reframe them. Today, as I'm doing this live video, somebody sent me a video. And that thing triggered me. Right? But because I understand this work, I calmed down. And I say, you know what? This person only means well. This person misunderstands my journey. They don't mean evil. So I calmed myself down, I didn't react. And I moved on. Right? So, guess what? Because I didn't react, I didn't damage the relationship. I didn't let it distract me. You know what? I moved forward. So if you can, This is like game changer. I want you to try it. You can calm your nervous system and regulate your emotions. You're going to make more money because you have better relationships. You make better decisions, right? Okay, and you move forward fast against setbacks. Okay, number 10, because I said I don't want to get too long. Number 10, I want you to take daily and consistent action in the direction you want your life and your finances to go. So, how does this mean? What does this mean about rewriting? It means that you want to write daily the action that you're going to take in the direction you want your life and your money to go. Okay? And you have to be intentional about it. You know why? Because it's like you're writing new codes into your brain. Your brain has to be reprogrammed. That's why we have to rewrite it, right? So you're writing new codes into your brain. But for you to write new codes into your brain, you literally have to be intentional. Okay? Now, so what do I do? How do I do it? It's just a suggestion. You can do it any way that works for you. I hear people say that they do it a night before. That before they go to bed, before the next day, they write the actions they're going to take. Now, I'm not saying activity. No, I'm saying the actions they're going to take that will move you in the direction you want your life to go and your finances to go. So, for example, if you want to make more money, right? An action can be, I'm going to send 10 emails to prospective clients this week, for example, right? If you work a job and you want to get a promotion, an action can be, I'm going to write 3 ways that I'm going to add value at my job this week that will give me the edge to get the pay raise or the promotion. Don't focus your attention at all on the negatives. It's not easy because I already shared evolutionary biology, your brain will be reminding you. But if you focus your mind on what you don't want, what are you going to get? What you don't want, right? If you focus your mind on what you want, what you're going to get, what you want, right? So, the final assignment for you, I want you to write down what you're going to do every day that will take you in the direction of you want your life and finances to go. And I want you to then take consistent action. Now, growth will happen with consistent and deliberate action. Growth in your finances will happen with consistent and deliberate action. And I continue to take consistent and deliberate action. You get to a point, okay, where you now experience a quantum leap. Where, for example, if your action was doing 1 + 1 = 2, because you are consistent, all of a sudden, 2 + 2 now becomes to 10, right? 5 + 5 now equals to 50. Why? Because you've taken so much action, it has compounded, right? If you're in investment or finance, it's called compounding interest. It has compounded that now you gain so much momentum and you see so much expansion and growth in your finances. So these are my 10 points. If you miss anyone, you join late, you can go back and watch the replay, but I will guarantee you, if you can take this 10 points seriously, you'll change your life. Now, I'm not promising you that it is going to happen overnight. No, I'm still on the journey. I'm still rewiring my brain. I'm still rewriting my money story. I'm still taking steps and improving. But what I can tell you for sure is because I'm taking these actions, my life has transformed. My finances have transformed. I have to tell you the truth. My finances have transformed. I'm making more money now than I've made in decades. Years. Okay? But guess what? I'm doing this every single day. This is not like a one and done. It's like having your bath. You don't have your bath one day. It's okay, I'm not having my bath again. I hope not. I'm not having my bath for 5 days or for 10 days. No, you have your bath daily, right? Sometimes twice a day, right? Because it's that important. And so these habits, these ways I've shared, you have to find ways to put it in your routine and make it your reality. Okay, so finally, if you want to deep dive into what I've shared, and if you want to get like practical. Hi, okay. Sorry, call interrupted. I put my phone on focus, but if there's anybody, please let me know if you can still hear me. Okay? So, if you want to deep dive and get more practical exercises to do the inner work, to rewire. Okay, can you still hear me? Please let me know in the comments. There was a call interrupting, but I don't know why. I put my phone on silent. Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so if you want to deep dive on this and get practical exercise to do the inner work, I have a course called the Millionaire Mindset Course. Okay, thank you. Thanks for letting me know. It's called the Millionaire Mindset Course. I put just 5 videos, right? But very potent practices that I have used over time to rewire my mind, to change my life, to change my finances. Because it says money is a tool, but it's an important tool that we have. So if you're interested in the course, it's in my bio, so just check my bio and then go to it. And for the next 10 people who take the course, I'm going to give a 30 minutes one-on-one session with them so that we can actually deep dive. The reason is that, I'm having a general conversation right now, but your own situation might be different. You're going through something that might be unique to you and we might need to unpack it. So if you get that course, I'm going to give you a 30-minute session where we will go through it with you and unpack it, basically, and deal with those things that might be holding you back and help you to rewrite your money story so that you will enjoy the abundance that God has in store for you. Because I can assure you for free, in this world, every tool you need for life and godliness to enjoy your life, God has provided, right? If you are not currently enjoying it, there might be something blocking it, right? And that's why I'm so passionate about this, because I have the degrees, okay? I have a first degree in accounting, I have an MBA, I have the degrees. I'm just completed a doctorate in financial literature, so I have the degrees. But the degree didn't get me to where I needed to go. This work, okay, opened my mind. And so then I could not apply the skills, the knowledge, okay, to now apply myself to convert to resources, and I am still doing it, okay? I'm work in progress. That's the truth. I'm not going to boast that, hey, I've got it. No. I'm work in progress. But these things I share with you are the things I do daily. And it has transformed my money mindset, and it has transformed my finances. So if you want the same experience, check the Millionaire Mindset course in my bio. And now I want to take a few questions. Anybody has a question, I'm happy to answer your question for a few minutes. Please write your questions up. But if you don't have a question, we can end the live call. I have thoroughly enjoyed this. I can't wait for next week when I do one with my friend Taylor. Yeah? But if you have a question, please let me know. I'm happy to take your question in the comments. But if you don't, thank you for joining me. I have thoroughly enjoyed sharing. Sharing my knowledge is one of the passions and the gifts God has given me, and I thoroughly enjoyed. So thank you for joining me, and follow my page. Enjoy the content. I share a lot of content about wealth mindset, money mindset, self-awareness, and things, personal development. So enjoy the concept, and have a blessed Sunday evening. It's Sunday evening where I am, because I'm in Nigeria. Take care.